Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for joining today's executive webinar session on when is the right time to hire an ISO consultant and to comply ISO digitally with Qdms software. My name is Kevin Devecioglu. I am the Managing Director of Bimser International. I have my colleagues with me. I have Alex Kovartirov, who is the President of Emras Consulting, and Alex will be talking about the subject matter as to when is the right time to hire an ISO consultant. And also I have my colleague Sam Watt with me. He's our pre-sales software engineer from our engineering team, and Sam will be performing a demo session for Qdms software. Also, we have today with us Volkan Bas, our Qdms product manager for Q&A session. First of all, I'd like to start with Alex as our channel partner and our colleague from Emras Consulting. Let's learn about when is the right time to hire an ISO consultant and some other fundamental information about ISO 9001. Alex, if you're ready, you can take over the screen. I'll make you the presenter.
Okay, Kevin.
Let's see. Okay, looks like you are the presenter right now.
All right. Yes, we can share. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So can you
see
the screen?
Yes, looks good.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Very good. Thank you very much, Kevin, for inviting me for this short webinar, and thank you for joining this. Today I'm going to be talking about how to use a consultant and when to use a consultant, and also how to comply digitally using the software tool Qdms. And I'll be talking more about what do I mean by complying digitally a little later on in the presentation. So before I start, I just want to give you a very brief introduction about myself and my company, Emras Consulting. I personally am a certified ISO 9001 lead auditor, and I'm the sole proprietor of Emras Consulting. I've established Emras Consulting in 2015 after a lengthy career as a project manager in a large aerospace organization that is certified to the AS9100 quality standard. AS9100 is the standard for aerospace industry. So what I currently do is I provide consulting services for businesses that are either trying to achieve ISO certification or to maintain it. And back in 2018, I became a Bimser Solutions partner. I was very impressed with the tools that Bimser is offering, and in particular the Qdms tool is extremely, I think, important to help you manage all of the large amount of data that's associated with a quality management system or ISO. So we'll be talking later on, and Sam will do a presentation of some of the capabilities of the Qdms tool after I complete my presentation. And I also present a number of webinars and lectures on various ISO topics. So before I talk about the consultant contribution to an organization, I just want to briefly identify what is really a quality management system, or at least how ISO defines a quality management system. And it's really, I think, well described by this diagram that was developed by Deming, who was a quality guru. And what really this shows is really the continuous improvement of a quality management system. Now, on the right-hand side of the screen, there are the clauses, the ISO clauses, and really this applies to most of the ISOs. There are quite a number of ISOs. ISO 9001 being the standard ISO, but this certainly applies to just about any of the ISO quality management systems. But I think the important thing is that in order to be certified to any of the ISO, you must comply with all of the requirements of ISO, and namely is to address all of the functions, namely the inputs from the customer, the planning phase, support and operation, the performance evaluation, and this is where you evaluate your product and also get feedback from the customer to make improvements. And as you can see in the diagram, in the center is leadership. Okay, so management has to really drive and enforce ISO. Otherwise, this whole process will not be very successful. So again, when I'm talking about QMS, or the quality management system, this really addresses all of the ISO functionality. All right, now let's talk about the steps, and this is obviously very generic in getting to ISO certification. Obviously, any organization that has been in business probably has a QMS, quality management system. But if the organization is applying or would like to get certified, okay, then obviously you really have to look at where the organization stands as compared to the ISO requirements. So a gap analysis is the first thing that's done. And in effect, it really looks at the current state and the future state. The current state being where the organization is currently as far as the QMS, and the future state is really going to meet all the requirements that ISO imposes on a quality management system. So this is the purpose of the gap analysis. And if the organization is not that familiar with ISO, some training would be appropriate at that time. Then goes the planning stage, and this is where all of your documentation, the records is really all the data that is collected as part of your managing your quality management system. You obviously need a quality manual and all to document all procedures in how you perform, you develop your product or service. Then the implementation. This is really the heart of developing the ISO QMS system, where you need to define and develop your processes. You have to establish the goals and also conduct management reviews and really make sure that you drive the action to have continuous improvement. So again, in order to make improvements, you have to analyze your non-conformances, any issues you have, and then make decision based on data on how to make improvements. So once you've established your QMS process in accordance to the ISO requirements, then before your certification audit by a registrar, and a registrar is a certification body, you should really perform an internal audit to assure that you are complying to all of the ISO requirements. It's basically like a dry run to the certification audit. And then obviously, once you've selected your certification body or the registrar, then you perform the audit. It's usually in 2 stages, stage 1 and stage 2. And then any findings that the auditor finds, then it has to be corrected. And then you are given the official certification. Now, obviously, in any organization that's trying to achieve ISO certification, they're obviously at different levels of readiness, okay? I guess any organization that's been in business should have a quality management system, but it could really be not meeting all the requirements that ISO imposes on a QMS. So it may have only basic knowledge of ISO and missing a number of very important requirements. So in that case, I think a consultant should really support all of the phases of certification, namely doing gap analysis and then do the planning and the implementation phase. Then another level is where the organization has knowledge, has some expert knowledge, either by hiring somebody. Let's say they hired a quality manager who's very knowledgeable in ISO, but the rest of the organization may not be that knowledgeable about ISO. So here, you may still want to use a consultant to help the person that has the expert ISO knowledge, because in order to bring the organization up to the level where they're ready for certification, it's a big job. It's a very big effort, and because all of that knowledge has to be propagated throughout the entire organization. But there could be an organization that's compliant with ISO, but is not certified. In other words, it meets all of the ISO requirements, or it may think it meets all the ISO requirements. But again, the gap analysis would pick up any missing requirements. But let's assume that they are compliant, fully compliant with ISO. The only thing they need is to pass the certification audit. So in that case, really a very minimal consultant effort may be needed. Maybe just do the internal audit prior to the certification. So that would kind of, pick up any hopefully minor discrepancies in whatever is missing to complete the full certification. Now I want to address here also the hard copy versus digital implementation, because in the title it says comply digitally. And what does it mean? Well, the ISO does not require you to have all your data stored in a digital format. It does not require that. So if you still store a lot of your documents and records as hard copies in file folders, it is permissible to do that. But obviously it has a lot of disadvantages because it makes the whole process of managing ISO very difficult. So I think in that case, if you're not really, or if you partially are implementing your data digitally and partially in hard copies, I think consultant can recommend not only for a full digital implementation, but also a software tool, in particular Qdms, which would allow you to store all of your information that's related to the QMS in one location in one server. And I will address a little later what are the really very big advantage of doing that. I think another point going for certification is you need management commitment, because without management commitment, you're really doomed for failure. If it is true that an organization that wants to achieve certification and they're very busy delivering products to their customers, that management may say, oh, well, we'll hire a consultant and let him do everything that's needed for ISO certification because we don't have time. We're busy delivering product. Well, this is a big problem because number one, consultant really doesn't know all the internal requirements of the organization, of their internal QMS. But the most important thing is that when you have your certification audit, the audit is done with management and the employees of the organization, but not with a consultant. The consultant is not going to be there during the certification audit. So it's very important that consultant should only be able to help you in establishing or meeting all of the ISO requirements, but not doing everything for the organization. So let's see some of the activities that a consultant can offer. And again, this is all depends on your level of readiness. If you're starting from scratch, then obviously you need more help from a consultant. But if you're already advanced and you're compliant, then as I said before, you need very little help from a consultant. So I think, obviously, if you need training and also setting goals and objective of ISO, I think consultant may be very helpful in that area. Also assist in defining the scope of the QMS, your quality policy, defining your quality policy and your quality objectives. Again, if you don't have that, then I think he should be able to help you. Provide guidance in using now the data that you collect in performing your service or manufacturing your product that is used to monitor and measure to meet your quality goals. Okay, in order to make improvements, you have to make measurements and then analyze the data and then make a decision on how to make improvements. A very important requirement of ISO is to have internal processes. And those have to be integrated with one another, and they have to be structured efficiently. So I think assistance from a consultant in that area could be beneficial. Also, the consultant can provide assistance in creating documentation control process. Documents have to be controlled to make sure that all the changes that are being made to documents are approved and that the latest approved version is being distributed to the cognizant personnel. So that process has to be very effective. Also support in establishing required records, and the records again is all what you collect during your process, during the work that you're doing, and now this information is used to improve your quality. So the records have to be saved and be made available for analysis. Also, management, and this is very important, that management has to understand that they have to embrace ISO, okay, and enforce its full implementation. So management has to make sure that the entire organization follows the principle of ISO, but they have to be the force behind it to make sure that it is flowed through the entire organization. And also, doing the internal audits, you have to have procedures, and defining those procedures is something that a consultant could be very helpful in. Now, the last three tasks are highlighted in red because I think these are the three tasks that I think consultant should perform in any organization prior to their certification audit. Now notice that before I specifically used the word provide guidance, support, help, assist, where it does not say the consultant shouldn't do this, but only help the organization in achieving this. I think it's very important that the organization, people assigned to work on implementing ISO, should be all involved in establishing all of the internal process in running QMS. But I think as far as very important task is, as I mentioned before, perform the internal audit prior to the certification by the registrar. This is like a dry run of the certification audit. Also, I think the consultant should assist in the selection of the registrar because, again, each registrar has his or her area of specialization. So you really would like to get a registrar that's familiar with your business because otherwise they would have to learn what your business is all about, and that will take more time and it'll be more costly, and it may be more confusing to both parties in performing the audit. And lastly is, again, recommend a software tool for digital compliance. Again, if all of your data is stored digitally and you're using the software tool such as Qdms, I think it will make your life a lot easier in maintaining all of the QMS data. As a final conclusion, I just again want to summarize why is the digital compliance method so attractive. Well, first of all of the ISO related information and data, and that's tremendous amount of data that's being generated, is all located on a either local or remote server. And you know, and in conjunction with the software tool, the Qdms software tool, then you obviously gain a lot of advantages because now all of your information, all your QMS information is stored in one place, and you don't have to search in file cabinets or, you know, computers that are scattered throughout the organization. All of it is available right there to you. And also, a lot of people are working remotely now and may continue to do that. And now they have the capability of accessing all the QMS data from anywhere, from their home or wherever they are. Also, I think very important is for any audit, whether it's an internal audit, it's a certification audit, or a surveillance audit, which is done yearly after you're certified, is really requires very minimal preparation time, because if you follow and if you use the tool, the Qdms tool properly, and you store all of the information using the tool, then there's really no preparation time, because when the auditor comes, all the data is available to him, and you don't have to search, go here and there, and sometimes you're just not successful in finding all the information he's looking for. Also, by having this Qdms tool, you could actually conduct a lot of the audits virtually. In other words, the auditor could be located at a remote location. And by giving him privileges through the Qdms tool, he can have the same kind of access to all of the QMS data as if he was on site. So I think that is really very critical to have that capability to make life easier for all of your team, your workers, as well as the audit team. And since, you know, remote workforce may continue, and even though we're hopefully getting over the pandemic situation, but I think remote work will continue. And I think that whether it will continue or not, I think having a Qdms tool and having all the information stored digitally would make life so much easier for everybody, for management and all the workers and all the auditors. So I think that's really the takeaway from my presentation. So again, thank you very much, and I'll pass it back on to Kevin. Thank you.
Alex, thank you very much. Much appreciated for the demonstration. Let me take over the screen and we can continue our demo. Yeah, let's continue our executive webinar session. I appreciate it. Very informative, Alex, about ISO and when to hire an ISO consultant. What is the last time? Great. So now I'd like to hand it over to my colleague, Sam Watt, and Sam will be performing a demonstration of QDMS, our quality, risk, audit, performance, and compliance management software. Bimser has been developing QDMS since 1998. It's a mature system with reputable references. It's very scalable. And today we'll show a couple of modules such as control document management, audit management module, and we'll also show reports as well as executive dashboard of QDMS just to give you some ideas. And then I'll take over the flow of this executive webinar session, and I'll talk more about QDMS, its capabilities, and why you should consider managing your quality management system digitally. Sam, if you're ready, why don't you take over the screen? Let me stop sharing, and you can start sharing when you're ready.
Sure. By the way, Kevin, if that's okay, maybe you can start your presentation first, then I jump into my demonstration.
Absolutely, let's do that. Okay, great. So I'm taking back. Yes, sure, why not? So let's focus on QDMS on a high level first of all. So when the time comes for you to have many quality management related documents, many different requirements coming in year after year, and you have different records to manage, then it is time to go digital for quality management operations. So in this sense, our company, Bimser International, has a lot of experience. We are an enterprise software maker since 1998, and we are based in New York with global presence. So quality management and compliance management digitally is one of our expertise. When we look at QDMS, QDMS is our proprietary software system. We have been developing QDMS since 1998. There are more than 1,000 corporate customers using QDMS, and we have more than a million professional users using our systems on daily basis. So considering that million of professional users of QDMS, you can tell actually many different professionals are using the system on daily basis for compliance purposes. This compliance may be about ISO, maybe about just managing the quality management system and so on. So also I had to mention that QDMS is an Acumatica ERP certified software solution. It runs standalone. It also works with integrated with other systems as well. So moving forward, some benefits of QDMS. For example, with the help of QDMS, you can manage your quality management system digitally. You can also automate your quality management processes to save time and to increase productivity. Also, you'll have a chance to improve your business processes digitally with no need of paper. And you can have easier audit experience. So considering you have audits for ISO, for example, for certification, for surveillance or other purposes, as Alex mentioned earlier, you can run all these activities, operations digitally with the help of QDMS. Hence, you can be certified easily with the help of QDMS because there will be no need for special preparation for QDMS. So in addition, of course, you can also keep your records in a digital environment. You can retrieve them pretty quickly, and you can be more efficient with the help of QDMS. So from our point of view, when we discuss these benefits to quality managers, quality assurance managers, quality directors, it's obvious that QDMS is the best friend of quality management professionals. And when we look at the features of QDMS, Sam will be demonstrating shortly, you can comply with many different quality management standards. You can comply with ISO 9001, ISO 14001, ISO 13485, and many other quality management standards. You can comply on QDMS. QDMS is web-based, meaning you can access the system with a web browser, no matter where you are. And also it's easy to use. So once we train you to use QDMS, to admin QDMS, you'll be the head of the system and you'll be managing it without any IT support or any consultancy support. Of course, our 24/7 support always continues, but what I mean is basically with the admin training, you'll have a lot of knowledge and experience to run the system and admin the system in your organization easily. There is also a mobile application of the system, so you can use your smart device. You can use your phone, you can use your tablet, and you can access QDMS no matter where you are. QDMS has advanced integration capability, so QDMS integrates with ERP systems, CRM systems, manufacturing execution systems, as well as IoT devices. Also integrates with Microsoft Office and other modern software systems to help you have an integrated management system. This is very practical, so it helps you basically, automate your business processes. Also, you won't have to enter twice. There will be no need for double entry as to managing your data in the organization, the documents, information that you keep. If you have it in your ERP system, you can easily pull it into QDMS. If it will be helpful for your CRM system, we can send the information to your CRM system, or CRM system can pull it from QDMS, for example. It is also very practical. We've been offering QDMS to many different industries: manufacturing, pharmaceutical, automotive, aerospace, as well as healthcare, for example, medical device, logistics, energy, and many other industries. We have references, and our customers, they have been using the system on daily basis. I mentioned earlier that we have advanced integration capabilities with QDMS. QDMS also has a ready-made integration with Halo Smart Sensor. And with this sensor, basically you can automate and manage your quality management operations in a proactive way. For example, Halo monitors air quality as well as temperature and humidity, for example. So that is very helpful for you to use both systems together. So Halo senses, and QDMS can take action for inspections, audits, and other activities in an automated manner. QDMS has a modular structure, so there are more than 30 modules available, and you can pick and choose any module that you like. There are different modules as control document management module to help you manage your SOPs and your instructions and guidelines, for example, customer complaints, corrective actions, audit management, and so on. Also, training management, calibration management, also some of the modules as we have. Risk management is essential, and it's very important for any quality management system. So we have different quality management, risk management, risk assessment modules available in our system. There are also change management as well as incident management modules that are linked to corrective action module. So if there is a need for any corrective action, after an incident, for example, you can easily record it and also perform it with the help of QDMS in a digital environment. QDMS works with laptops, desktops, as well as smart devices, your smartphone, as well as your tablet also. So you can access the same data from wherever you are, from anywhere, simply. Okay, great. So Sam, how are we doing? Are you ready for a demo?
Okay, yes.
Perfect.
I can perform the demonstration. Thank you, Kevin.
You're welcome. Floor is yours, and you are the presenter.
Okay.
We can see your screen. Thank you.
Sounds great. So thank you for joining today's webinar. And this is Sam, a pre-sales software engineer of Bimser International based in New York. In the following, I will demonstrate you QDMS, our quality, risk, audit, and compliance management system. QDMS is a web-based system. So after deploying the system on your cloud or on-premise server, you can connect to your QDMS by using your web browser like Google Chrome, Firefox, Microsoft Edge, or Safari for iOS devices. In addition, QDMS is a permission-based system. That means users will see what they are supposed to do based in the system. Different users have different permissions based on their role, position, profession, department, and group. I'm now logging in as the admin so that I have the full control of the system. And also, this is the login page, the home page after you log in. You can find all the pending tasks and also the request for approval on this home page. In addition, you can also get a quick connection by opening the widget or the notification that you have on the home page. In terms of the notification, you will find one in Qdms, and also you will receive one in your email inbox, as our system also has a mail integration feature. So this is a two-way notification feature that makes sure you will not miss any important task as those tasks is assigned to you. On the top left, this is the main menu of Qdms. Again, Qdms is a permission-based system, so not everyone can see everything. Typical example will be the main menu, like the modules and also the items that you can see in every module will be shown based on the permissions that are granted to your account. And thanks to the modular structure of the system, you can pick and choose the modules that you want to have and deploy on your server. Qdms provides over 30 modules for you to manage your quality management activities. So you can pick and choose those that you want to have and deploy on your server. And today we will get into the control document management module and also the audit management module. First of all, to the control document management module, we can upload for sure our documents like SOPs, procedures, specifications, training materials, and so on into the system. In addition, we can also update our documents as if there's any changes, like our company policy. If we have an update version, then we can start the revision process in our system, and the version number will be incremented automatically by the system, and we can upload our updated documents to the system. Whoever opens this document will find the latest version of this company policy. And then by using this module, we can also manage the folder structure. We can create different folders, subfolders by document type, locations, departments, and even teams. So we can have our folder structure well organized by using this system and upload our documents accordingly. Once we have our documents and also the folder, they are ready, we can read the document within the built-in browser of the system. On the left, you can find the folders that I have in this demo environment. Also, we can see all the subfolders and also files sitting under this folder. I'm going to show you one example as a document, which is a SOP file, and I'm opening it within the built-in browser. Qdms supports different file formats that you upload to the system, like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, PDF, image, and even video and audio. Those can be opened within the built-in browser. That means you don't have to install anything like other software applications. Nope, you don't need them at all. And this is how we can read our documents. So just like you reading your documents from your local, But by using QDMS, we can, other than the content of your document, we can also find the document information like the code, the name, the department, creation date, revision date. Also, all the versions of your document will be saved in an archive of our system. That means if we change or if we upload a new version of the document to the system, you can still get back to the previous version of your document as long as you have the permission. Again, QDMS is a permission-based system, so not everyone can do everything, including getting back to the previous version of your document. But right here, you can find we have two different versions of the documents recorded in the system. And I am the admin. I have the full control so that I can get back to the previous version of my document, which is version 0, like the original document. You may find that in this original version or original document, nothing is highlighted. And in the latest one, the latest version, we highlight every single thing with entering the revision reason and also the description. And it helps us keep tracking the changes and also the differences between two different versions. And again, if you do not have the permission, the system will only show you the most up-to-date one in your screen. While we are uploading and updating our documents, we can manage the permissions to the users and user groups, like reading, printing, revising, getting back to the previous version, or deleting the document. Also, we can manage the users or invite the users and user groups into the distribution list. Whoever in this list, they will receive a reminder or notification once the document is updated or uploaded. For instance, we have our company policy, and every single manager are supposed to be familiar with our company policy. As the company policy, it is updated in the system, like we have an update version. Then all the manager, as they are in this distribution list, they will receive a reminder and saying this document has been updated. Please read it, or please be notified about the update. Then they will find this reminder in their own QDMS account and also in their email inbox. Coming next is the approval flow. While we are uploading and updating a document, we can also invite the approvers to the approval flow. Whoever in this list, they will receive a task for review and approve this particular upload or update request. Instead of managing this approval flow for every single document, we can also set up a default approval flow for the folder. Whatever that we upload under this particular folder, then we will apply that particular approval flow automatically. That means you don't have to set this up every single time you create a new request. All the actions will be recorded in our system with the name, date, time, and action type. This is the audit trail that helps you keep tracking all the performance and actions carried out in your system and against your documents. So this is how the system helps you keep your system insecure and also all your documents insecure as well. In QDMS, there is a reporting tool that allows you to generate different ready-made reports. For example, we have our document status report. Before generating the report, you can enter the criteria, condition, or any rules into your report. For example, we have our status, and I want to see if all the records under revision and also published. Once we select it, then we can make our searching. All your records will be shown as in this table. And on the top, there are search bars provided, and we can enter part of the keywords, and your data, all your records will be updated accordingly. You are more than welcome to export your report into Excel or PDF for sharing with any responsible parties. And in QDMS, we also have the audit management module. By using this module, you will be ready for your audit activities every day with the internet connection. In QDMS, we can create different audit planning. And as for the planning, it's like the goal that we want to achieve. We can use this module for internal audit and external audit. As you can see right here, number 11, we have internal audit plan. And also number 32, we have a supplier audit plan. That means we can have external audit, auditing our suppliers, vendors, or subcontractor. As the plan is like the goal that we want to achieve, and how we can achieve a goal, we think about it. As for internal audit, we have to audit every employee in every single department. And how, in order to achieve this goal, internal audit, then in our system, you can create the audit item. And the audit item will be the objectives that help you achieve the goal, which in this scenario, which is internal audit. We can create different audit items for different departments, like sales department, manufacturing department, packaging department, and shipping department, for example. And when we are creating the audit item, we can set up the subject, the date, the start date and time, and also invite the auditor and auditee to this audit item. Both auditor and auditee will receive a notification in their own account, meaning QDMS account, and also in their email inbox. Once we save it, a reminder will be sent out automatically by the system. And another nice feature in QDMS is you can upload all your audit questions into the question pool of QDMS. And while you're managing or scheduling the audit item, you can pick and choose the questions from the question pool. In another word, the auditor doesn't have to spend like the whole week and 5 pages of paper for auditing just one employee or one department. We can pick and choose the audit question from the question pool, and those will be a reference to the auditor. Moreover, we have a mobile application that is available for Android and iOS device. So the auditor can also bring along with the handheld device like tablet or cell phone to carry out the audit. They may go to the plant, go to the ground, and then ask the audit question to the machine operator, and then record it digitally. So you don't need any pen, any paper, or any space for saving all your audit findings and results. And that is why we say you will be ready when you're using QDMS. You will be ready for your audit activities every day. Furthermore, as you are like complying with ISO, the departments like quality management departments, quality departments, they are not supposed to have any self-audit. The audit has to be performed by other manager in other departments, like say shipping department. But the manager in shipping department, they have limited, or they are not really have enough knowledge about quality management. What should they ask? Do they have to study anything, go online, take any tutor or any lesson? No, we just pick up the questions here from the question pool and then ask the question, record the answer, boom, that's how it's done for the audit. So you can say, you can tell the capability and also how our system helps you manage all your audit activities, and also managing your control documents by using just one system. And in QDMS, we also have a dashboard that visualizes all the data that you have in the system. For example, we have the dashboard here, and all your data will be shown as a scorecard, as a bar chart, a table, a list, or pie chart. So it gets you an overview of how we are doing within our company, and also helps you keep tracking and monitoring the performance and KPIs of the company. Give it 1 second, I'm going to pull up this dashboard on our page. I think it is coming up, just 1 second. Excuse my internet speed. Okay, there we go. So as you can see right here, this is one of the example of the dashboard. And actually for this dashboard, it is configurable. That means based upon your preference and also what you want to see during the implementation process, we put together different widgets in your dashboard. Also, as for all the widgets on this in this dashboard, it is movable, sizable, and also editable. That means we can also add or delete any widget in your dashboard. So different users will have their own design dashboard on this page. It's come to the end of my demonstration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sam, for the demonstration. Much appreciated. Let me take over the screen and we can continue the process. Great. So before we end our session, Alex, do you have any final remarks?
Yes, sure, Kevin. I just wanted to again emphasize the importance of having a tool, software tool like QDMS, because yes, you can certainly meet all the ISO requirements, even if you have all your data as hard copies, or some of your data as hard copies, and yes, you will satisfy all the ISO requirements. However, it will take you a lot of effort, a lot of overhead to deal with all this data. Whereas by making a relatively small investment in acquiring this QDMS tool, it will make your life a lot easier, and it will really reduce your overhead in dealing with all of the ISO related data. So I think it's a good idea, and I highly recommend for any organization to consider using the QDMS tool in managing your QMS data, I'm sorry. So that's what I wanted to stress in my conclusion.
Alex, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Before we end our session, I'd like to invite our audience to visit our YouTube channel to see the watch the recordings of Synergize 2021 Annual Virtual Conference and Summit. That is recorded in our YouTube channel, and you can watch and learn about remote work and digital transformation. We have many different recordings with experts that perform many different presentation. So you are invited to visit our YouTube channel. And we are also getting ready for Synergize 2022 as annual virtual summit and conference. And we'll talk about how to automate business processes in this digital age. And our Eventbrite page has a registration screen available for you. Our YouTube channel has hundreds of videos, and we have many different videos that talk about digital transformation, manufacturing 4.0, automation, for example, and predictive maintenance management, as well as IoT technologies working with our software systems. So you are welcome to visit our YouTube channel. You can watch our videos. Also, please register, subscribe, and you'll be notified whenever we have any video available. Our Eventbrite page is designed to help you register our coming events so that you'll know what is coming and you can register accordingly. And we are inviting you to our Eventbrite page of Bimser International. I'd like to thank you for your time and thank you for your interest. And we are looking forward to having you at our coming executive webinar series. Thank you very much and have a nice day.